Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Our mission today, well, it's a big one. We're diving into what has to be one of the most aggressive selection strategies we've seen all year.
We're talking about the Springboks, of course, and head coach Rassie Erasmus's squad announcement for the big clash against Italy.
Aggressive is definitely the word. I mean, this isn't just a few tweaks here and there. We are looking at a full-on strategic pivot. It's designed to really stress test the entire national system.
And the headline number, it just jumps off the page at you.
It really does. Rassie has made an almost unprecedented 11 changes to the starting lineup.
The same lineup that just beat France last weekend. 11 changes. That's seismic for a major test.
You'd expect maybe, what, 3 or 4 rotations?
Exactly. So this forces us to ask the big question. Is this just about risk management, keeping players fresh? Or is there a much bigger future-focused strategy we need to decode here?
And right at the heart of that decoding is the most talked-about move of the week.
The risky hooker gamble.
With Marco van Staden, yes. We're going to get into all of it, every shift, every key return, and why Italy is so much more than just a stepping stone on this tour.
Before we do, though, if you want this kind of deep dive every time a major team sheet drops, you really need to subscribe to Rugby Obsession right now. It's the only way to make sure you never miss our analysis.
Definitely. Okay, so let's start with that massive shift. 11 changes.
Right. If Rassie's priority is depth, he still needs some anchors, some foundation. Who actually survived that massive cull from the team that beat France? Because those 4 players must be the absolute non-negotiables right now.
It's a very deliberate retention policy. And you're right, only 4 players kept their starting jerseys.
And the first one is no surprise.
None at all. Captain Khaleesi. You need that leadership, that continuity, especially with so much upheaval around him.
Of course. Who else?
In the forwards, we keep Bowen Venter. His solidity in the scrum, his work rate, that seems to be critical for the coaches, especially when you're bringing in a new look tight 5 around him.
Makes sense. What about the backs?
In the backs, 2 dynamic players remain. You've got Kurtley Arenzi on the wing. He gives you that X factor, that finishing touch.
Always a threat.
And Damian Wilmans, who's still at fullback, he patrols that backfield, gives you versatility, and a really assured kicking game. That's a vital safety net when the rest of your back line is shuffling around.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So you've got Venter and Willems providing stability in those high-pressure spots. Now, what about the bench? The famous bomb squad. Was there a similar shakeup there?
Not as much, actually. The bench, it still has that powerhouse look. It's designed for maximum impact in that final 20 minutes.
So the changes were more about promotions.
Exactly. Johan Grobbelaar has moved into the starting 15 at hooker.
Okay.
And that move opened up a spot on the bench for Quagga Smith to return. But other than that, the structure of that impact unit, it's pretty consistent. It signals that Rassie sees the finishers as a cohesive unit, no matter who's starting.
The scale of that turnover is just staggering. But let's turn to the exciting names that Rassie has brought back in. This feels like a huge moment for building genuine World Cup cycle depth.
It's exactly that. High-stakes exposure for high-potential players. And it starts right up front, in the engine room.
So walk us through that new look forward unit.
Okay, so Venter is now joined by Grobbelaar at hooker and the young, promising debutant Zachary Porton at tight head.
But the second row is where it gets really fascinating.
It is. We see the return of Gene Klein.
Klein.
What?
That's his first match since the 2023 Rugby World Cup final. What does his pairing with Franco Mostert bring? What's the thinking there?
I think Klein brings that sheer aggressive bulk, immense Type 5 experience, and that's going to be so necessary to stabilize a front row that's, well, a little unproven.
And Mostert is the workhorse.
The tireless workhorse. He's a breakdown specialist, a line-out operator. Pairing them gives you this really robust, hard-working core. It suggests Rassie wants absolute grunt, a high turnover rate in the close exchanges.
Preparing for a big forward battle against Italy and the loose trio.
Alongside Khaleesi, of course, you have Ben Jason Dixon coming back for his first test this season. A huge opportunity for him on the flank.
And at number 8?
At number 8, we have Marco van Staden. And that selection is, the necessary prequel to the biggest strategic headline of the week.
Let's switch to the back line, because this is where we see that really creative blend of youth and proven talent.
Especially at halfback, yes. It's an interesting bit of risk management. You're blending extreme inexperience with extreme experience.
Go on.
At fly half, the veteran Handré Pollard returns to dictate play. He's all about control, structure.
The ultimate game manager.
Absolutely. But he's teaming up with Morne Vandenberg at scrum half, a player known for his unpredictable speed as sniping runs.
So that pairing,
Yeah.
it says a very calculated risk. What's the tactical trade-off they're looking for?
Well, Pollard's presence is the safety blanket, right? He ensures the team sticks to the structure, kicks well. But Vandenberg, he brings the chaos, the speed that forces opponents to scramble.
So you get control and chaos potential.
Exactly. It makes the attack unpredictable, which is vital when so many of these backline combinations haven't played together before.
And the midfield is noticeably young, but very athletic.
Very. It's a midfield combination of Ethan Hooker and Kanan Moody, with Moody shifting to start at outside center.
But a huge show of faith in Moody's versatility.
It is. This young pairing offers just outstanding defensive speed and tackling. And out wide, Edwell van der Merwe gets a run on the right wing, replacing the great Cheslin Colby.
And this all ties back to Rassie's mission. What did he say specifically about these changes?
He was very clear. He said, and I'm quoting here, "One of our key pillars is to build squad depth, and it's great to have players like Jean, Handre, Edwell, and Ben Jason back. We are excited to see what they'll bring this weekend."
The goal is crystal clear. Give these guys high-level exposure now, not later.
Precisely.
Okay, here's where we get into the really deep water. The highest risk element of the entire squad.
The hooker situation.
The complete absence of a specialist backup hooker on the bench. It's easily the most controversial selection of the week.
It's a bold move, almost provocative, really, and it just highlights the kind of versatility Erasmus demands from his players.
So explain the gamble for us.
Marco van Staden, the guy who is starting at number 8, is also designated as the backup hooker.
So if Grobbelaar goes down,
The starting loose forward has to shift into the middle of the front row, and that forces a massive reshuffle of the entire forward pack mid-game.
I understand the versatility argument, I do. But are we truly confident in Van Staden's line-out throwing under test match pressure? That's the one place where this could all just fall apart.
That is the critical risk, no doubt.
Oh.
And Rassie's justification, it speaks less to technical perfection and more to strategic advantage.
What did he say?
He basically said, Marco played hooker for us at the World Cup, and he has been training in the position since. So it doesn't make a difference whether he starts at loose forward and moves to hooker or on the bench.
But what is the strategic benefit of taking on that risk? Why give up a specialist hooker on your bench?
I think the benefit is maximizing your resources at the breakdown.
How so?
By naming Van Staden as the emergency hooker, Rassie effectively gets to field 5 specialist loose forwards in his match day 23. This massively boosts the Springboks' ability to win turnovers and just dominate the breakdown in that final quarter.
Especially against a team like Italy that plays with such pace.
Exactly. It's a pure numbers game. You're favoring breakdown impact over line-out safety, a trade-off.
It's a fascinating rationale. Trading one highly technical risk for maximum forward impact later in the game? Let's look at the rest of that bomb squad, because it still looks formidable.
Oh, it is. The bench is packed for high impact. You've got Gerhard Steenkamp, Wilco Liu, R.G. Snyman, Ruan Nordsche, and the returning Quagga Smith.
That is a huge injection of World Cup winning experience right there.
A massive amount of physicality just waiting to come on.
And the backs.
You have Andre Esterhuizen, whose selection hints at a kind of hybrid role, maybe covering both 12 and 10. Then you have the game changers, Grant Williams and Manny Libick. And of course, Van Staden is officially listed at 16 as that backup hooker.
It's a dynamic squad, for sure. But that hooker gamble is its central nervous system.
It really is.
Now, this is where we want you, the listener, to weigh in. Do you think this strategic gamble will actually pay off? Or is it just too high a risk against an Italian side that is in pretty good form?
That's the whole debate, isn't it? Building depth or just flirting with disaster. We definitely want to know what you think.
Absolutely. Make sure you're subscribed to Rugby Obsession and share your comments. We'll be going through your feedback in our next deep dive.
So now we have to talk about the opposition.
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
The Boks are making 11 changes that makes them vulnerable, and they just cannot afford to take Italy lightly.
No way. And Erasmus himself stressed his respect for Italy. The crucial context here is that Italy recently beat Australia.
A huge result for them.
A massive result. And as Erasmus noted, it will boost their confidence immensely. It proves they can beat Tier 1 nations.
So that win gives them genuine belief. Where do you think they pose the greatest threat to this rotational Boks side?
Well, Italy is a really well-drilled unit. They focus heavily on their set piece and rapid work at the breakdown. They tested the Springboks well in their last two matches so they can pressure ball retention.
And they can expose a new backline.
They're excellent at tactical kicking, which could definitely expose any cohesion issues in a brand new midfield like Hooker and Moody.
And history isn't exactly on the Springboks side when they're playing in Italy.
That's a great point. Erasmus acknowledged it himself. Italy has beaten the Springboks in Italy before. They're a passionate, well-coached team, and they will have a massive, ardent crowd behind them in Torino.
And their captain, Mikel Amaro, he'll be relishing this.
Oh, he's one of the best breakdown specialists in the world. He will absolutely relish the chance to target a loose forward pack that's trying to integrate a number 8 who's moonlighting as a hooker. They'll look to exploit that.
It sounds like this is less of a practice run and more of a really high-stakes chess match. Just quickly, the logistics for everyone watching this weekend.
Well, the game is Saturday, November 15th. Kickoff is at 12:40 GMT, which is 14:40 so African time. And the referee is James Dolman from New Zealand.
So what does this all mean? We started with a monumental team announcement, 11 changes, all driven by this core philosophy from Erasmus. Build squad depth, manage future risk.
And we've looked at the crucial returns, the stability of Jean Klein, the control of Andre Pollard. And we've broken down that controversial but strategically justified decision to use Marco van Staden as the backup hooker.
All to gain an edge at the breakdown.
The underlying theme is depth and versatility. That's the ultimate currency in modern rugby.
Building on that, here's a final thought to leave you with. If Erasmus is this intensely focused on depth and cross-training players like Van Staden, does this suggest he's already planning for a specific tactical need, maybe 2 years down the line?
Like for the next World Cup?
Exactly. Or is this just a pragmatic rotation for this tour? And what other national teams are trying this level of strategic rotation? Is this what will give the Springboks a crucial edge?
That's a big question. And that decision, high risk, high reward, will define the success of this whole selection experiment. We'll be analyzing the result and the performance next time.
So make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you don't miss that analysis.
And thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.